So I wanted to share with you about my experience about a period in my practice that was very, very hard, and it was last year. Um, in retrospect, it was hard, but I think it was also incredibly beneficial in many ways. And as I look back, I can see how much I have grown as a result of that particular time. But it was a time where I received a lot of attention from my teacher, my children. And it seemed like I was receiving kindness on a 24/7, and it was not very comfortable. It felt like times that she had found my big red button and had her finger in it and would not let go. um, and I found myself, as I said, a bit uncomfortable, and it prompted me to try to evaluate, assess, and figure out how am I relating to my teacher? How am I holding that relationship? Am I really understanding what that is all about? And one of the things that was very clear to me early on during that time was I do not want to be afraid of my teacher, but I also do not want to be a people pleaser. I don't want to do things just because I want to please my teacher. I want to do things because I really understand the purpose and the benefit. So I had to wrestle with my mind about how to approach the situation in a way that was reflective of wisdom and not of fear. I went back to the Lamrim and I did some reading on how to relate to the spiritual mentor, because in our culture, we really don't have the background to really assess and understand how to manage that very special and important relationship. And so I knew from the get-go there was some relearning that needed to happen in order for me to receive that feedback with an open heart and a clear mind, which is what I wanted to do. Because you see, the models that I have in my mind and in my experience that in any way get close to what this relationship between teacher and a student are kind of like not very accurate. And when I looked at those different relationships, there was an element of fear and people-pleasing that pervaded those relationships that I did not want to transfer to this particular relationship. And so, I made a list of some of them here. So, I had to realize that my teacher is not my parent, although she's helping me grow. She's not my boss, although it's good for me to listen to what she has to say. She's not law enforcement, although she wants me to increase my discipline, my spiritual discipline. She's not my judge, although sometimes her words can be received by my ignorant mind in that way. She's not my priest, although I confess to her. She's not my school teacher or my college professor, although she does teach me on a regular basis. And she has a lot of wisdom to impart. And she's not my therapist, although she does give great advice. So, in order to understand or to try and put this relationship in context, I had to find a new definition for kindness. And because the definition for kindness that I was used to was somebody who always tells me things that I want to hear, someone who always acknowledges my good qualities, and even tells me good qualities that I don't have, and someone who's just ready to give me attention when I need it or when I feel that I need it. But that's not what the spiritual mentor is there to do. You know, her kindness, their kindness, is reflected in the one goal that they want us to attain, and that is they want us to attain Buddhahood. They want us to perfect all our good qualities and diminish all our negativities. And so in order to do that, they have to point out very clearly what are the things that are not working, that are not conducive to attaining that goal. So I had to reframe what kindness was and be able to receive the feedback in that context. And I also had to remember that my teacher wants me to develop my own wisdom. And because I don't have the wisdom right now, she has to point it out. She has to guide me to how to get there. And that doesn't feel comfortable because my self-centered mind and my ego is telling me, "God, I know everything. I know everything." So that's not true. I have to learn to discern when that voice is coming up and how not to listen to it, not to get sidetracked by it. And then, as I said earlier, learn to accept feedback with an open heart. That is really the first, knowing that it's coming out of a place of compassion and wanting me to transform, to help me transform. So, and I also had to then, after doing those three things, then I had to be honest with myself about where I am in my practice. I had to really, and sometimes that honesty is painful because we like to think that maybe we're better than we're, farther along than where we really are. And so it just requires some amount of fortitude to say, well, I am not there. This is where I am, and to be okay and accept it and honest. And at the same time, aspire to go where my teacher wants me to go, where she wants to lead me to. Aspire and want to be there and have that come genuinely from my heart, even if I'm not able to go there yet. One of the most important and transformative things that Venerable Chodron, my teacher, told me during those months was, I will not give up on you unless you give up on yourself. Because in that one sentence, she showed me what my job was. She showed me that my job is not to give up on myself. No matter where I am, no matter what my mind is doing, no matter how hard it is, how high the climb or how steep that mountain, that my core job is not to give up. And by extension, not to give up on anybody else. So, I don't think that I have finished this work. But I think that in retrospect, the experience was eye-opening, helpful. It strengthened me in so many ways. And it helped me gain a little bit more clarity on my relationship to my teacher. And I am ever so grateful. And thank you to all of you for supporting me through that process, and continuing to do so. It's also very helpful. So, thank you.